Nigga,
What's
you
going
live
on?
right now.
What's going on, huh?
Shit, tapping in with you.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
We're live from San Quentin right now. We got somebody on the phone from my neighborhood, from San Quentin State Prison, where the San Quentin 6 started. What's going on in there, man?
Man, this shit is changing. The prison system is turning into what the street is. Like, this shit is not what it used to be.
I'm so glad I'm not in there no more.
Yeah, I know you is, because this shit ain't what it used to be, man. This shit is all fucked up. It ain't the same. Like I'm telling niggas on the streets, it's 7 man to a crew now, nigga. Niggas the same shit as here.
So let me ask you: are you guys on lockdown for the COVID stuff still?
Yeah, we is. They just let off. Yep. Some of it is most majority of the prison, but not everything. Some of it is locked down.
So do they separate people with COVID?
They was putting them in the gym, and they was putting them in the in the hospital and shit, like moving you and shit.
That's
and
crazy.
putting you, quarantine you up so you can get away from yourself for a few minutes.
Damn.
For like a week. They was doing this for like 14 days. They quarantine you for 14 days. So nigga, the program been fucked up. Like shit, niggas been up here. Niggas who came up here to program and go home, they ain't been getting nothing, nigga. No program, no nothing, because you ain't been getting no time off. That shit is designed to make you fail, nigga. Like, they ain't giving no niggas nothing. Niggas ain't got nothing for nothing.
So wait, I thought they was starting programs in there now. I thought they was giving programs for people to come.
They keep shutting it down because of the COVID shit. So, feel like this, niggas been joining classes and they ain't never been able to finish.
So you guys ain't getting the credits for it?
Nah. Like in 3 years, ain't nobody got nothing really, because ain't nobody been able to finish no group.
So you've been in the cell. You haven't been. Do they got yards still?
Yeah. Once they give you like for 4 hours.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm so glad I ain't in that bitch no more.
Hell yeah, 4 hours, nigga.
So
this shit ain't cool, nigga. Niggas better know.
That's hella crazy. So look, my channel was geared at saving these kids from going to prison, man. What are you in prison for? Robbery. How much time did they give
Second degree.
You? Second
17.
Degree. They gave you 17 years for fucking robbery.
Correct.
And how long have you been in there?
12, going on 13.
So you only got 1 or 2 left then?
No, I caught another case.
Oh, you caught a case in there. See, that's what I'm talking about. My whole spiel yesterday was people don't realize that when you go to prison, you don't come out on your regular date. If you're a gang member or if you're associated with gangs, you're subject to catch another case in there and get more time. So you caught 17 years initially in court, and then you caught a case in there. What was the case for?
Assault on an officer in drugs.
And how much time did they give you?
9.
Oh shit! So you got 26 years altogether.
Correct.
And they ran it bow-legged?
Correct.
Wait a minute. How come I didn't know all this before I started this interview? So you're telling me you ain't coming home now?
That's what this interview about. This is what this interview about. You just said you trying to tell them young niggas how it be, bro. When you come in here, you a gang member, and you a real nigga from the streets, anything can happen. It's the same rules as on the streets, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shit don't change if you're a real nigga. If you got to bust a nigga head, you gonna bust it. My greatest fear is the same shit as on the streets, that I hope I don't got to get up and kill a nigga tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, please don't push my buttons, nigga. Please. I tell people all the time, I'm humble, but nigga, I ain't no mark either. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so,
look,
you know,
this is your first interview on here, so people don't know who you are, where you're from, and you said you've been in jail for 13 years. Tell them where you're from, and how long was you fighting your case before you got sentenced?
I was in the county 3 years. I'm from Garden Block, 29th Street, nigga. Born and raised in the Gardens, nigga. Everybody who know me know the real niggas. You got niggas that's in this game, bro, that be faking and fucking and punting like who they is and who they want to be. But anybody who really knows me, you don't know. Nigga, I stand on what I say, nigga, and I mean what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't play no games. I don't run from nobody. I wasn't raised like that. Recreation is what I'm raised on, but it can go. I elevate my crypting, so that means I bring it to whatever you want it. Either you want to, I don't play with knives, but if you want to play with knives, we can play with knives. If you want to shoot marbles, you want to play basketball, this is how my homies raised me, because I was raised by the right niggas from the hood.
Okay, so wait a minute. You just touched on a subject that I touched on last week. You said if you want to play with knives or if you don't want to play with knives. We got these channels on here, specifically another segment, another faction that used to be in prison, and they're on here and they're saying that the Mexican gangs in prison, the white gangs in prison all play with knives, but blacks tend to fight in there. They don't like picking up knives. And I argued with these cats. I've been to 180 level 4s, and we have rules in there that it's no hands policy, that it must be knife play if you get into it with someone. And these cats want to argue and tell me that blacks don't have knives in prison. They like to fight, and that's why we lose all the battles. Can you elaborate on that?
That's not true. It's the same rules, like I said, from the gate. If you're a real gang member, you're going to grab a knife the first thing you come into prison, because it's like a gun in the streets. He said a lot of gang members have guns that's real gang members. Don't mean they killed somebody, don't mean, because the worst is fear in the gang member's life is getting up and saying that they want to kill. Nobody, I don't feel in growing up that nobody in their right mind wakes up and say they want to kill somebody today. You see what I'm saying? Black people carry guns for protection. You know what I'm saying? Because of people that don't know the power of what they carry when they pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So some people mishandle the gun, and they let the power get to their head. You know what I'm saying? And that's what my big homies taught me, which is dog. Man, I can name a gang of homies that taught me that should be the last alternative. If your life is in danger, is what you should pick up a gun.
Nobody wakes up in the morning. Nobody wakes up in the morning and thinks they're gonna kill nobody. So it just happens in the streets.
Nobody wants to. Not a logic person doesn't want to get up and kill another black person. That's not my plan in the morning. You see what I'm saying? I don't wake up and say, I wake up now being a gamer. I used to wake up and say, I hope I don't have to kill a motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't know what comes with that. You might be in prison for the rest of your life. Doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to go your way. Usually 9 times out of 10, it ends up bad.
And the same thing happens in prison. You don't wake up and think a riot's going to happen, but or
you might actually, you get it, like, for instance, people don't know why it's necessary to grab a knife back in the days as being a black and being in the game. For the people that don't, the people that think like they saying, oh, we not like the Mexicans and we don't have to grab a knife or we can fight it out. But what about, you got people out been in the prison before where blacks didn't do that, and you know how many blacks went out and riot? I was in the Tracy riot when it happened there, and so many blacks went out on the ghetto flight because they didn't have knives.
Wait, what riot?
You know what I'm saying?
What riot?
The Tracy riot.
With who?
Tracy riot, when it was with the Mexicans and the white boys. The riot went on for 2 hours. It was one of the longest riots we had in prison.
So wait, was it Northern Mexicans or Southern Mexicans?
It was all Southern Mexicans.
So at Tracy on the main line, the blacks got into it with the Southern Mexicans and white boys, and the white boys rode with them.
That's correct.
So that's another debate we had. There's a channel on here that says that Southern Mexicans, Serenos, don't ride with white boys in prison, and I debated that. Just like the Northerners ride with us.
Correct. They used to, yes.
They used to ride with us back in the days. And why we clicked up with the Northern Mexicans, and we
CXIV. I was one of them.
Yeah. So
I was CXIV and why?
So I did a segment.
Just because of that politics, because the Serenos roll with the whites. We only intervene if the whites get involved with the Mexicans.
Exactly. So if Northerners and Southerners have a riot and the white boys back up the Southerners, what does Crips do?
So we help them.
We help the Northerners. Exactly. That was my point 2 days ago on my live.
This is correct.
There was a cat on my live that was in Centinela, and he debated. He was like, blacks don't back Northerners and white boys, we don't ride with white boys. And I'm like, well, I don't know what prison you've been to. He's like, I'm at Centinela right now. And I'm telling him, I've been to New Folsom, Lancaster, Pelican Bay, and every yard I hit, there was a 180 yard. We knew the white boys weren't our enemies, but we knew at any time if we got into it with the Southsiders that they were subject to get in it. And then, you know, if there was Northerners on the yard, they would come back us, but all blacks. So if a blood gets into it with the Southsider, does all the blacks get involved because it's a racial riot, or is
yes, all blacks get involved. It ain't no blood and crip when we get into it with other races, and it was designed for protection to show, because when they get into it with us, they unity. They have more unity than they push unity. In the Serranos, you know what I mean? They all for each other. So where it comes from with us is we have to stand up for each other too, because they don't play fair. Like you said, a lot of them got knives and we don't have knives. A lot of us don't. Some people do. When I first now in life, because like me and my brother, we just talked about this, where a lot of youngsters feel that OGs should be in the street fighting still. He says, where in the book should the OGs be in the street fighting? That's not our lane. That's young nigga shit. When you was young, you do that shit. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to sit on the porch and watch you young niggas fight. That's y'all gotta earn that shit. They already earned their stripes that they should be able to sit on the porch, because y'all ain't even caught up to the work they put in, but y'all think y'all G's already and y'all should get the royalties that they got, which isn't true. That shouldn't be true. Y'all ain't put in nowhere compared to work or went through the struggle that they went through, that you claiming the things they claim. Like, one thing I have an incident about is we have a little homie, Little Pookie, that's in prison. And it's a shame to me that a lot of homies don't know who he is, or they haven't contacted him, because he's one of the homies that really was with the shit and changed his life. That he shouldn't even be in prison, in my opinion, because even in his situation that he did, it was trying to be avoided from all angles.
Yeah, I know Little Poop very well. So let me ask you this: you've been in prison 13 years. So what everyone's talking about on the streets and on YouTube now is the end of hostilities with the Southerners, so the Southern Mexicans to be exact, and the Northern Mexicans. So how is that affecting you guys as black gang members in prison? Is that affecting your guys' program? Are you guys like
people ain't paying attention? People ain't paying attention to it. I've seen the movement. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. I was in the branch, right? And all the blacks was in my pod where I was at. Even though they had the Zilla and the Fab and the Star Funkin', I grew up in an era where if nigga had heart, that you supposed to, out of respect. I used to tell the Fab niggas and the Zilla niggas, and niggas can say that. Whoever Zilla was there, Fab niggas that was there, they can speak on this nigga. When I was in the pod, it wasn't no jumping a nigga if a nigga had heart. Yeah. I don't give a fuck where he was from. You see what I'm saying? If he came in there and he had heart, if y'all was gonna run him out of there, y'all had to give him the ones. I used to tell them niggas, bro, give this nigga the ones. I don't give a fuck if he's a blood or crip. I grew up on there where you stand up for yourself. You a man, nigga. You get respect like a man. You know what I'm saying? If you on some fag shit and you scary, then this ain't the lane for you, nigga. So you should leave this shit alone. You know what I mean? You got to separate the wolves from the hyenas. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but my question is.
So listen, okay. So I went into this. That's why I went into that. I was there when the Serranos and the Norteños came together. All races came together to go against the blacks because they said the blacks was bullying them. And I'm trying to tell everybody, y'all don't see what's going on, that they feel that we're bullying them, that they all coming together now. They're making a peace treaty. There's something going on right now that y'all not even paying attention to, that the Serranos and the Norteños are making peace treaties all across the world right now. And because they come into agreement to say that they should be together and form some unity so they can build. You know what I'm saying?
So how is that affecting you guys while you're incarcerated? Are you guys paying attention where you guys are ready if that comes?
No, they not. I feel like nobody is. Like, nobody's really paying attention to none of that. That shit is all out the window now. That people, everybody's just going now. It's every man for themselves now. It ain't unity no more, or it's everybody for themselves over here on this side. Everybody's for themselves.
See, I don't understand that. I've been out 4.5 years, almost 5, and when I left, they had let the big dogs out the shoes in Pelican Bay. And I knew then, without even seeing YouTube, without even hearing from people in prison, that it was something going on, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And there's going to be a lot of deaths. There's going to be a lot of, and people in prison don't understand when two factions has been fighting all their lives, and there's so many homicides and murders over these two factions. When they get together and they squash their beef to end the hostilities, there's something bigger going on. And people from the outside looking in, they don't pay attention. And that's what happens. You slip and then you lose your life. So my suggestion is that everyone that's not involved in that all get together and have a meeting about it. But it's hard. It's hard to do that because you got Crips, you got Bloods, you got Coombs, you got Jama, and nobody comes together. Everyone thinks they're the man in prison when it comes to black gangs. The Mexicans.
And I was just telling somebody that. I said, why is it that you got I know two brothers from the hood that really don't get along with each other that good, right? They factors from the hood. You know what I mean? I was just telling my silly about this incident, and I'm like, how is it that y'all can't get along and y'all two real niggas? It ain't like y'all did nothing bad or nothing like that. Or with you, one comes to me and he tells me, he's like, oh, my brother don't fuck with me like that, but he fuck with you more than he fucks with me. So, and I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, because y'all ain't built that relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what y'all. Who's animosity against who and what for, when we all got the same objective. We using too much energy worried about the wrong things instead of moving forward. See, that's what I'll be trying to come together on now with me. Anybody who knows me from the hood, ain't no niggas from 29th Street, from Garden Block ever can say I asked them to do a crime. I usually come to jail for being involved with somebody else's incidents. My nigga, I get took down for getting involved and helping somebody else, and that's how it always. When I can't sit here and lie and say, oh, I'm just perfect and I haven't done any crimes. I have, but 9 times out of 10, most of the crimes I did by myself, I always got away with.
I did a segment. I've been to prison 11 times, and 9 times was from somebody else from the neighborhood. You'd been knowing me for a long time, and I chose to come out this time and not fuck with the hood just because of that. I want to stay home with my family. I don't want to be going back to prison. And the only way to do that is to stay away, do your thing. You find out who your real friends are, not gang friends, but your real friends are when you're in jail. How many people from the neighborhood has reached out and helped you after you're in jail for people from your neighborhood, our neighborhood, and you're doing 17, 26 years for the gang. You're doing 26 years for your gang, and nobody has reached out to you. And I keep telling these young.
And I've always, and to top in on that is, and I'm gonna tell young niggas that when you get in this gang, if you get in this game and you looking for, we always tend to go to the crowd that accepts us for our pain, because really all it is we all niggas running around. You know what my celly says? I'm gonna put it just like this: Crips don't know how to grow up. We don't know any gang member that's on the streets. Why don't we elevate? Why is it that we stay on one level and we always kids? That's what we is. We kids doing kids activities. And when is it time to grow up? When do we grow up? Because I'm saying this, me being a real nigga in the hood, bro, like I said, I've never asked any homie. I never even put no niggas on 29. It's no niggas from the hood that can say I put them on the gang because I felt like I didn't want to associate my name with people as I put you on and you went bad, or this really wasn't the person that you was. I don't want to turn people into people they're not. If that's something you want to do, hey, if you like it, I love it. That's my motto. But I'm not going to be behind that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my name associated.
You just brought something up. You just brought something up that you never put nobody on. Okay, I did a segment, and this is something that I really wanted to talk about. So, Northern California Crips, Northern California Bloods, compared to Southern California Crips, where it all started at. Gang started in LA, California. We're in Sacramento. We're in a whole nother segment. And I was telling people the other day that I can't remember. I was never put on 29th Street. I'm a first generation 29th Street Crip, and I was never put on. But looking back, hearing all these people talking about they was put on in 1984, 1985, I've never seen nobody from our hood actually put on like LA Crip members do. I see people start claiming 29th Street, and people just assume they're cool. They ain't gonna tell when something happens. They ain't gonna and that's just not the case in Sacramento. In Sacramento, I've never heard about, I mean, I've heard about it, but not a whole bunch. We don't put people on, we just take people in. We got walk-ons.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Right.
Do you know anybody that's been put on 29th Street, jumped in the hood, or had to go shoot some? You do?
I did, because you got to remember, you said, big homie, when y'all was there, a lot of y'all was there from the beginning. So as it trickled down, the game gets. This is what I feel. That I'm glad you touched on that, because this is something people need to hear. When you create a monster, how can you control the monster? The monster starts implementing his own rules in the game, and that's where the game goes fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because people create monsters, and then these other people, being that they don't know how to control the monster or like how to control like I just told somebody today, if we really want to get technical, it's female tendencies. If you don't know how to control your female tendencies, it gets involved in the game, and when you coming up and you start tripping off of weird shit. When you really hear why niggas be tripping or why they funk, you be like, that nigga, don't that sound like some girl, like shit girls trip off of?
Yeah, that's bitch shit, huh? You said female tendencies. I call it bitch shit.
Ain't that female tendency?
Hell yeah. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? When they worried about what dog's doing over there, like you said, you over there doing your family thing, and these niggas over here like, oh, he don't fuck with the homies no more, like negative shit to say. Why are y'all worried about what I'm doing? I'm not harming you. The shit I'm doing in my life doesn't affect you. You know what I'm saying? Why am I the topic of your conversation? Unless obviously I must be that important.
I don't want to get into the details.
You really want to be like me.
But I got reasons why I stay away from the hood. I talk to hella people from the hood, and they call me on the under because they don't want to know.
But it's like you said though.
But to me, when you come out of prison after doing 10 or better years, and the same cats you grew up with are doing the same things we did in '84, still selling dope out of crack sack on a corner, and you're 30 years later in life, you wasted 30 years of your life. If you're still doing the same shit in '84 that you're doing in 2022, you wasted 30, 40 years of your life. And that just ain't how I was raised.
There is no royalties. This is what people fail to realize when you come home. I told myself this. I said, what does a real nigga have to come home to? Okay, say if I kept it real in the game, I didn't tell on nobody. I didn't do any scandalous shit. Like I said, I didn't put nobody on. I never did nothing faulty. And now I come home after all these years. What do I come home to? I come home to nothing.
To a pat on the back.
Gate money.
Pat on the back.
$200 gate money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's my royalties. That's what I get out of being in the game and keeping it real. I get $200 gate money. This is Monopoly.
After doing 20-something years.
This is what I get, huh?
For the hood. For your neighborhood.
For the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that it ain't real niggas in the neighborhood though, but you, like I say, since I've been down, my homies love me because I always kept it real. They can call me, even in jail. If I got it, I'm gonna look out. Homies will tell you. When I was on the streets, I'm a homie that any homie called me from jail, nigga, and I got it. I'm looking out. I'm sending packages, not because I have to or I'm scared of these niggas, but I really love these niggas. When I was there when we was solid, that's what people fail to realize is y'all claim 20, but y'all ain't never seen the hood when it was good. Niggas, I feel sorry for homies that claim the hood now, and now y'all picked up and y'all do all this other shit. Because once upon a time, we was all brothers and sisters, man. We, like, nigga, the hood was good.
Now what's it like?
Man, you don't know who's for who. Everybody back. You see what I'm saying? Back in the days, you couldn't talk about a homie to another homie because he's going to bring you to that nigga and confront you. Like, okay, you got so much to say about this nigga. Or they'll wait till opportunity presents itself where two homies is together and they going to burn it up because I'm my brother's keeper. You see what I'm saying? That means if you could talk about him when he's not here, either I got to fight for this nigga. I done been in YA and I had to fight for homies before because other niggas talked about them.
Speaking on their name.
Niggas, yes, and this is my brother. You're not going to talk about my brother while he's not here because I am my brother's keeper.
That's crazy. I need to do a segment about that. My brother's keeper. That's crazy. You touched on that. Hey, so wait. So you went from level. What level are you right now?
Nigga, I just got to a 2.
You went. So you know, if a gang member goes down to a level 2, he been in jail a long time.
Correct.
I've never reached level
Exactly.
2. I never was a level 2.
Not even that. Sometimes you got to be more humble now. See, when we first come in the system and where we came from, I've only been skating through the cracks. I ain't gonna sit here and front like I ain't been getting in no trouble, but I really changed my life now. There's homies that run into me to this day and be like, "It's like I never thought I'd see you on a level 2. You the type of nigga that I thought that would always be on a level 4 because of how you carry yourself."
So is a lot of people okay? I heard. I confirmed this today. We got a homeboy that he's very known. He's been in jail since 1989, and he's from 24th Street. I'm not going to say no names, but his crime partner got out a couple years ago, but he's still in jail, and he's been on a level 4 180 his whole time. And I just found out he was in Solano level 3, and I'm like, man, maybe he changed his life. How does that present itself after being on a level 4 for so long? And you're fighting with the police, you got write-ups, and people want to write books about you for your write-ups, and you're just known. How do you humble yourself in there, being around all the chaos, all the bullshit, to let your points drop down to a level 2, man? I mean, I never did it. I tried, but the
struggle every day. You know what these niggas tell me? Listen, I'll be sitting here and lying to you to say that it's not a struggle when you go to the lower levels you go. Young niggas come in here with short time and they do the Thundercat thing. Yeah, y'all life go on. Y'all in and out of the system. See, this is what I consider. If people on the streets say they about that shit, or you really about that life, but people that's really about that life, or people that be in the shit and you really be, nigga, you come and do football numbers. You don't do no 2 and 3 years. That's petty crime shit. Nigga, you like the lower the tech. Put it like this: I've been to prison twice, and both times I've done 10 years or more.
Both of your sentences been more than 10 years
or more.
So that tells a lot about you, who you are and your character. Shit, 10 or better.
Yeah. 10 or better. So am I a talker? Would you say I'm a talker, or am I an action nigga on the streets?
Well, that's a question in general. I can't answer that because I know who you are. I watched you grow up as a kid, so I'm gonna let you tell that. I'm not gonna speak on it.
That's what I say. It's a lot of niggas on the streets that be carrying on beefs or have problems with people, and I hear it. You know why I start fucking with a lot of homies? Because every time I call homies, they telling me about shit going on in the streets and beefs, and they say, "I can't wait till you come home." It's like, because shit gonna be there. Why you gotta wait for me to come home? Why you want me so rushing? Why is this nigga in a rush for me to come back to jail? Why I got to come there for you to get active again, nigga? That's not you being you. That's you doing something you think I want you to do, which I don't. You've been living this life and living your life on the streets and having a good life. You know what I mean? You do in and out of quickies, in and out of jail. Why can't I do? If I do that, then I'm soft and I change, and I'm not the same homie, or I'm not no good no more, or because I'm not doing this crazy shit y'all used to be. Y'all was an entertainer. That's what I consider it is. I was an entertainer. I'm the nigga, the crash dummy nigga, and I was stupid enough to fall for this shit because I love my brothers.
That's called a soldier, though.
Correct.
That's not called a crash dummy in a gang member's eyes. That's called a crash dummy in the white man's world. We call that a soldier.
Correct.
So I wouldn't call it a crash dummy. It's just you was a soldier for the wrong. You was up under the wrong act. You was up under the wrong guidance.
You correct.
And now you're paying for it because
a lot of big homies got took off the streets at one time, and when they all got swooped up, we was left with the stragglers, and the stragglers ended up taking over, and they started teaching the wrong shit because they tried to be people they wasn't.
They was trying to take over for the people that was on the street before. So you say you got how many years left?
Right now, as of right now, I got 7.
7 years left. Okay, right now at this point, if they were to open the gates tomorrow. Are you married now?
Yes.
Okay, you're married. You got a family. So you had a long time to think about why you're in jail. Is it worth it? And what are you gonna do when you come home? And don't give me your wait. Let me finish the question. Don't give me your plans. Tell me the reality of it, because I had 9-10 years to think about what I was gonna do. And when I came home, everything I thought I was going to do, I didn't do. I had plans to do this and that. And when you come home, the reality of it is these streets have changed. So I knew once I was released, I wasn't gonna mess with no homies that put me in jail before, or even put me in a predicament where I had to go to jail. I knew I was gonna do the family thing, but all the other plans that I had, they all didn't manifest because how much everyone changed out here when you come home. So what is your real plans when you come home?
As unfortunate to say, I was raised by, like I said, a lot of big homies like you, homies that really taught some stuff into me to where that I'm ahead of the game when I come home. I just bought a house. I'm not gonna sit here in front. Nigga bought a house. You know what I'm saying?
You bought a house from jail.
Yes. Yeah, my girl, we got, we got businesses. We got a couple of things because I've been opening my mind and educating myself now and learning stuff that we've been doing this shit the wrong way the whole time. And we can do it the right way and focus. If you do, people don't like to do resources. Everything that goes on in the world, we can do it ourselves. See what I'm saying? But we take the easy route. But like they say, fast money, you gonna fuck it off. Fast money come with bullshit because you didn't earn it. You don't really know the value of it, that you don't appreciate it.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, you just touched on something. I wrote a book about that. We're not gonna get into that. This is our first segment. There's gonna be a part 2 to this. But yeah, we're gonna touch on that because that's the main subject.
I plan on coming back. This is my plan as of right now, getting out of prison. I already have it. I tell people this. I'm not working for nobody when I come home because I'm a king now. Now, when I was fighting for good, I mean bad, I did bad shit. That's what I'm telling people now. I wrote the courts and everybody, and I tell them this. When I did bad, if y'all go look at my rap sheet speaks for itself. I've been to jail probably 30 times in my lifetime, counting juvenile hall, in and out of the system my whole life. So that means when I did bad, I did bad. Now I do good. So I'm trying to make that sheet longer than my bad record. That's my goal.
So you're not going back to jail?
No, that's not. Jail is not an option because I'm not putting myself in that predicament. I tell people, stay away. If you're not with what I'm on, you need to stay away from me. We don't have nothing in common, which I'm not telling you don't do what you do. I'll be a hypocrite to tell you not to do what I was doing when I was lost. But I'm telling you that I will accept you on this side if you will come, and I will teach you and help you in order to go in the path that I'm going, which is up. I'm only going up. You know what I'm saying? We all in the community got the same objective if we really think about it. We all want money to move out of the hood and do better and go live somewhere and bring your family outside of that environment to where they don't have to go through the struggles that made you bitter to why you resent where you at or you hate where you came from, or because this is all you doing when you hurt people in your community or the people that's around you and you robbing them and you killing them. Is all we doing is hurting the people around us.
Not the people that are against us. We're killing our own people.
Correct.
So what would you tell your 12-year-old self if you could go back? What would you tell your 12-year-old self right now?
Start educating myself.
Bam.
School.
Did you hear that? Bam.
Educate myself.
Educate yourself.
The stuff I'm scared of, face my fears. You know what rich people do that we don't do? We don't face our fears. We so scared of failure, but you just listen, man. We wasn't born. We've been up against it before we was born, man. If you get through the struggle or you come from nothing, we already faced the best obstacle because we made it. You know what I'm saying?
You had 13 years sitting down in a prison cell to think about. I can't even. We didn't have a pre interview. This interview is off the top, and YouTube, the world. I didn't think this conversation was going to go this way. I've known this guy since he was young, and he has elevated himself. And he just said that if he could tell his 12-year-old self what to do, he would go to educate yourself. Now to educate yourself, what does that mean to you? Does that mean you wouldn't be from 29th Street Crip? You wouldn't be in a gang now? You wouldn't be in a prison?
No, because I can't never take, that's never going to be outside of me because I love what I can. Listen, man, this is what I tell people. I ask people this question right now as of today. If you could describe yourself in one thing, what would you say? let me ask you this question. This is your interview, but I want to ask you a question because then I'm gonna answer it with mine. What do you consider yourself as today? If you could think of one word to summarize it up, what would you tell me? What are you like? Who you are? What can you compare yourself
in one
to?
word?
Like,
in one word?
Yes.
A king. That's the only word I could come up with. And that, if you let that word sink in to the definition of that, I think that's what I am. That's what I represent.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think I am right now in the phase of my life, because I am a king, but I'm not there yet. Because you got to grow to be a king. You see what I'm saying? Like you can say that now because you've been out of jail, you haven't been to jail, but I'm still in that process. So, like you said, when I come home, a lot of things you said you was gonna do, you couldn't do because things change and all that. So right now, I'm consider myself, if I can say one word, is sponge. People say, why is that? I say because I'm soaking up everything.
Wait. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear your answer.
A sponge. I consider myself a sponge.
Ooh.
In one word, I consider myself a sponge.
You put me on the spot right now, and it was off the top of the head. That is the best answer I could have ever heard.
Because I'm learning.
What does a sponge mean, though? Because a lot of people on here.
I suck up everything. I'm sucking up everything, and I dissect the stuff that I don't want, and I take the stuff that I do want, and I implement it with the stuff that's good, and I'm moving, and I make it work for me.
Ooh.
See what I'm saying? I dissect it. I'm a sponge. When you take a sponge and it gets soaked with something and you wring it out, it gets rid of all the dirt and all the filth. You can wash it, make it clean again. You see what I'm saying? I'm a sponge now because I soak up everything. This is what I'm going to use for example that I tell everybody. I say, you know why they put people say you can't learn something from a dummy, but that's a lie. They put a dummy in the car and crash him so you can learn from a dummy. Don't do this shit.
Man. That's game right there. That ain't even game. That's real life shit. So you would tell yourself, your 12-year-old self, to educate yourself.
Correct.
And do
but
you
never
think
not give up 29th Street though, because I learned a lot from 20. I could never say it wasn't a lot of good homies there. If you were real hood, it's a lot of homies. I took a lot of good stuff that always preached me, and they only taught me what they knew. They wasn't educated enough to teach me anything else. So how can I expect more of them? They can only teach me where they was high at in their IQ or their levels at in the game. So they can only teach me the best way to do the stuff they know how to do, which I don't fault them for. I'll be wrong to fault them for that when I look for that advice, and that's what I got. They didn't owe me that. Nobody owes me nothing in this world. People keep thinking people owe them something in this world, but you have to come to realization that you got to want it for yourself first. You see what I'm saying?
Live from San Quentin prison, education. Nobody would ever think that somebody that was in prison.
I'm in college right now. I'm in college, but
exactly.
I never knew how to read or write when I was a kid because it wasn't important in my household. They just taught me how to work. I know how to work. I didn't have a job. I can go get a job tomorrow because labor, and that's what they taught us.
Wait, you didn't know how to read or write?
No, I taught myself.
In prison?
Yes, when I went and did the 10 years, I taught myself by reading the newspaper, and I started picking up hood books. And
your first sentence, not the sentence you're on now.
No, the first sentence.
You learned how to read and write in prison.
Correct. But back then, they didn't have the groups and the education that they have now in self-help groups that I've been taking them. I've taken about 20 groups in self-help. I got my GED, and I'm in college now.
So you're taking college courses now. So you're actually putting your words into actions, because you said you would tell your 12-year-old self to educate yourself. So that's what you're doing now. How old are you now?
I'm 44.
You're 44?
Yeah.
Damn, you're getting old. You made me feel like
I don't feel
like a quadruple OG. You only 44 years old. You ain't old.
But I don't feel it though. And people that run into me say I still look the same.
You look like you're 21 still. I can't even believe you said you're 44 years. Damn, you've been gone that long, huh?
Been doing time my whole life. I went to YA and did 4 before that.
4, 10, and now you're doing.
I spent most of my life in prison, in jail, than I have on the streets.
Yeah, I got 28 in. You probably catching up to me now. I got 28 in. I ain't doing another day.
Yeah, I'm not either.
So right now you're gonna come home probably in 2020. Oh wait,
I say 5 or 26 because I'm knocking off everything. I'm in all the classes and all the groups.
So when they open up program and you can go to groups, that'll knock some of your time off.
Correct.
Damn.
But I'm not doing. I just had a conversation with somebody today, right? And they said, hey, it's like you in all these groups, you doing all this stuff and all this stuff. See, they look for negative things to try to, I guess, to make themselves. People love to connect themselves and worry about the wrong things. Because he said, you in all these groups because you can get time off and you're not a lifer. I said, no, I look at the blessing that I'm not a lifer, and the lifers do so much that I respect them for doing what they do, that I'm going to do everything they do to get out of jail. See what I'm saying? If they can do it, what makes me different from them just because they have life? If they doing all that stuff, they learning from it and they becoming better persons. Like I tell people, like I just told you, I'm not getting a job when I get out. I'm creating a job. I already have a business in my mind I want to start. I got a nonprofit organization.
Right now, I don't mean to cut you off, but right now, talking to you, it just clicked on me right now. You sound like somebody that I look up to. He's a little bit younger than me. And I'm going to go ahead and say his name, Dooney. And he's a very positive influence on everyone around him. And you're actually at the prison he paroled from. And he's
the one told me to come up here.
And me and him had a discussion about education and what he did while he was in prison. And I used to resent this dude because I did a violation when he was in Old Folsom, and his whole program, I didn't see what it was about. It was about unity. And when he came home, I went and seen him. I talked to him. I haven't seen him in a while, but what he's done with his life is like a movie, man. This cat is like the most smartest. He applies himself 120% everything he does. And I've never met nobody like him. And right now, listening to you talk, you sound like you've been associating yourself with him because your conversation is nothing but positive right now. And when I knew you, when we used to talk and we used to be in prison together, it was the total opposite. You was the wild psych. And
I volunteer for the bullshit.
And you got two or three
on the front lawn.
But you got 2 or 3 big homies that carry your name. But I look at it like you carry their name because
I speak for all the psychos. When I was raised, like I said, I'm my brother's keeper. As of right now, you speaking to me, I am them. I represent them. They set the bar in life at their level, and I'm supposed to up the bar. That's why they gave me the name. I was supposed to up the bar to be able to carry the name on forever, so people will never forget our legacy. And that's what I do to this day. But I'm taking our stuff on a different level now. I'm gonna bring us to the right side, and I'm gonna have it to where my brothers do come home, and the ones that is right, which I talk to Little Psycho all the time, and I talk to Big Psycho. I put money on his books and all that because these are my brothers. You see what I'm saying? These are, if I got it, I will give them. If I get $60, I'll split it 3 ways, bro. 20, 20, 20. Because these are my brothers. And I want us all to be happy, because it's us against. My favorite song, I tell people this all the time, and I tell my girl this. When she has it rough out there in the world, because it's not easy. I tell people this all the time. For us to be in jail, we felt that life. That's what you have to realize first, is we felt that life. Life can't be easy, because then we wouldn't be in jail.
Life is hard in jail.
See, we felt that life. On the streets is hard.
Yeah, you're not lying. It's hard out here. You don't know who's who out here.
Then the person that stays out there. Right now, I'm so happy you've been out there. You the definition of a real man. That you can stay out there and be with your family and do the right stuff and all that. This stuff I'm doing right now, I felt that life. I was scared of that. That's why I'm in jail. Because I wouldn't have felt that.
You're not afraid of it now.
If it was easy, I wouldn't be here. Who feels that stuff that's easy?
Man. We got to do a part 2 to this. Man, I didn't know how this interview was going to go, but I got 16 people lined up for interviews, but I'm going to fit you in way before any one of these other interviews. We got to do a part 2. We already been live for how long does it say here? We've been live for a long time, and I know it's late. I know it's going to be count time in a minute. We've been on here 45 minutes. They're going to come by and walk. We don't want you to get we don't want no ramifications over this. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this loose. We're going to turn this live off. But I am going to tap back in with you tomorrow, and without a pre-interview, we're going to go live again. And we are talking to Baby Psych right now from San Quentin State Prison. And this live was at the spare of the moment, the top of the head. I just felt something told me to call this cat. I haven't talked to him in a couple months. I called him, and this is what the ramifications of this phone call was. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna hit you back, Psych.
All right.
I appreciate you. So that was my little homeboy. And as you guys heard out of the horse's mouth, he got a 17-year sentence for another individual. And since his sentence, he has caught another case in prison, another 9 years. That gives him 26 years. He didn't kill nobody. He didn't shoot nobody. He didn't even hurt nobody. And I want you guys to know, this guy I've been knowing since he was a kid. His conversation right now just amazed me. It took me back to my younger me. I'm 53. He's 44. And what he's learned in the time he's been there, it satisfies me. I love this dude. He's one of the real ones from our neighborhood. And he has elevated himself while he was in prison. So don't think because you're incarcerated, you're on a level 4 or level 3 prison, that you can't elevate yourself and bring your points down and ultimately come home and be a productive citizen. It ain't been easy for him. It wasn't easy for me. And it's not going to be easy for anybody that goes to prison. Most likely, if you're a gang member and you go to prison, even if you're not a gang member, you're going to catch time. You might catch a murder case. You might get stabbed. You might get killed. It's not the place to be. All my interviews, except 2, are going to be from prisoners that are locked up, and they're going to give you their story, where they're from, how they became gang members, and when they're coming home. And a lot of them aren't coming home. And I want you guys to know that these cats are in jail for the rest. They don't have no hope. Baby Psych, the guy off the phone, he has a lot of hope. He's a good-hearted person, and he is coming home. And I can't wait till the day I'm going to try to go pick him up from prison, because he's one of the ones from my neighborhood that I still will mess with. Live Prison Yard TV. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, that like button, go ahead and hit it. If you haven't hit that notification button, hit the notification button. And we'll see you guys back tomorrow evening, actually. Stay safe out there. Stay blessed. Tell the ones you love them. Have a good night. What's going on here? Oh, we're connected.